December 8th, 2020. That was the day I finally decided to quit BDO. With the never-ending grind to catch up in gear, the complete lack of meaningful PvP content, and the constant introduction of mechanics that remove skill expression, I decided that enough was enough. So then why is it that 7 months later, I returned to BDO also to play a seasonal ninja for only 3 weeks? And why is it that 2 months after the first season ended, I am about to make yet another ninja for yet another season? The key here is Seasonal Harsha, a PvP server that can only be entered by seasonal characters. But why does this matter? How does seasons address any of my complaints at all? The thing I need you to understand is that I play BDO pretty much exclusively for the PvP. I mean, yeah, PvE, progression, life skill are all huge parts of the game, but I never really cared for any of that. And you might think that's odd for someone who chose to play MMO over any other genre of game, but the type of PvP that you can get on MMO is something that you can't get anywhere else. Only on MMOs can you get that open world RPK experience, where PvP can break out at any time, any place, where you have to be ready for any number of classes, teams, and guilds. But that also means that the day when I can't get that on BDO anymore is also the day where there's no longer a reason to keep playing BDO. I still remember when I first got into BDO back in 2018. I was told that full TED box gear with tri-accessories was soft cap. Just a few months of effort to get the gear, and I'll be able to PvP against anyone. And I have to admit, at the time, it did sound very convincing. The last MMO that I played was Perfect World, where you needed years of effort to get anywhere close to soft cap. The promise of PvP was the reason why I bothered to get into BDO in the first place. But little did I know how wrong that promise would turn out to be. The thing about BDO is that they somehow designed it where every upgrade you get matters just as much as the upgrade before it. On paper, a 700 gear score player only has 17% more gear score than a 600 gear score player. Yet if you were to think that makes them 17% harder to kill, then you'd be wrong. Because somehow, that extra 100 gear score, that 17%, is going to make them nearly unkillable to you. You might as well be a 300 gear score player, and the results wouldn't be too different. And honestly, I think that's crazy. Because what this means is that there is actually no such thing as soft cap gear in BDO. No matter how good your gear is, the next upgrade will always be just as effective as the last one. Pen might be just one more level enhancement out of 20 possible levels, but it's still a world of difference compared to TET. And once you're Pen boss gear, you'll need TET accessories. Once you're TET accessories, you'll need to put in Caphras. Once you have Caphras, you'll need Pen accessories, and so on. It never stops. So there is never a gear score you can reach where you'll be able to fight against everyone, because your ability to fight anyone will always be relative to their gear score. And that's why the overused idiom that BDO is a marathon, not a race, is just complete nonsense. Because BDO is a race. You can only fight someone if you can keep up with them. There is no finish line, no specific gear score where everyone is just sitting and waiting. As long as other people are progressing their gear, then you have to progress your gear too. You have to keep grinding to even stay in the competition. You have to keep moving just to stay still. Now, I know there are many people who enjoy the grind, who likes progressing their gear, who thinks the system works great, and I get that. But what I don't get is why the system caters only to PvE. If you're someone who likes the PvE, then the game lets you do as much PvE as you want. Yet, there is nothing you can do PvP related that even comes close to how fast you can progress through just an hour of PvE. And if you're someone who likes the PvP, then you don't get the freedom to do as much PvE as you want, because you're forced to do PvE whether you like it or not. And that's my problem. I don't mind if other people want to PvE, but I just want to be able to PvP, because that's the part of the game that I actually enjoy. But some people will say, that's just the way MMOs are. That every MMO requires grinding PvE before you can PvP. That you need PvE to even have a PvP community. And maybe that's true. But what if it doesn't have to be? What if we can have gear equalization like Lost Ark, separate PvE and PvP gear like Swords of Legends, or rewards that make PvPing actually worthwhile like what New World claims they want to achieve? Is it really impossible for BDO to adapt anything from them? Well, in a way, we sort of already did. We have seasons. Yep, everything that I told you now leads back to this. Seasons. Namely, seasonal Arsha. Where seasons differ from regular server is the finish line, in that seasons actually has a finish line. Pen to Vala. There's no Caphras to level up, no Black Star nor Fallen God to upgrade to. You get Pen to Vala, you get 560 gear score, and you'll be able to fight against anyone. And ultimately, that's really all I ever wanted from BDO. To get the PvE out of the way, and be able to just focus on PvP with fair and equal gear. This is what people pretended that the regular servers were. But now, it actually exists, in the form of seasons. Now don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, seasons has its limits. Like the name implies, seasons is, well, seasonal. You will have to make a new character every so often, and go through the same loop of PvE, enhancement, and progression. And while this may sound just like the regular servers, what makes up for it is the time frame of needing just days to reach Pen to Vala, not months or years. You can go from 0 to Pen on seasons faster than you can grind out even a single upgrade on the regular servers. And with everyone starting from 0, it's not unthinkable to start PvPing even before Pen to Vala if you so choose. I mean, it's not exactly the same as getting rewards and progression through PvP, but hey, at least there is PvP, and honestly, that's more than what I can say about the regular servers. I have to admit, part of the reason why I like the idea of seasons probably stems from nostalgia for me. It brings me back to 2018, when CCs were meaningful and combos mattered, when you had to outplay each other's protections, when you couldn't simply slow, break frontals, and SA trade, when I was much more hopeful about the game, when I still actively played BDO. Truth be told, if I knew 3 years ago what I know now, I would have ran away and never looked back. But somehow, whether intentional or not, seasons managed to deliver what I believe BDO should have been. So that is the reason why I chose to play seasonal. I didn't lose my account, delete my character, or trash my gear. I just wanted to play what I actually enjoyed about BDO. And the best way to do that was for me to quit the regular servers and play seasons. So now you know why I had to quit BDO so that I can actually play BDO.